Hi everyone, this is your 5th period lesson and it's about resource allocation and the function of markets. In terms of key aims, you are going to need to identify the rationing, signalling and incentive functions of price when allocating resources. You're also going to need to describe the role of profits in allocating resources. So those are the two key main aims. Okay, the role of the market. Adam Smith, a famous economist, said in his famous book, The Wealth of Nations, where he argued that a free market through its invisible hand would allocate resources to everyone's advantage, providing there was minimal government intervention. So in terms of the market, you guys have seen your demand and supply diagrams, and what he said was there was an invisible hand working, and that would make sure that the allocation of resources was as efficient as possible. Okay, press pause on this video, take the link and watch the 60-second video. It's excellent and you might want to watch it a couple of times. Okay, within a market there are three main economic agents. First of all, consumers who decide what to spend their money on, and their aim is always to maximize utility or satisfaction. Firms who aim to maximize profits, and owners of factors of production, so owners of machinery who want interest or a rate of return, workers who want to maximize their wages, landowners who want to maximize rent, and all of these are motivated by self-interest. Okay, very important. Okay, in your notes, and you should be on page 72. This is the diagram that you have in front of you, and you're all aware now that equilibrium market price and quantity traded are determined by the intersection of demand and supply, because at both places, at a price P1, consumers want demand Q1, and firms want to supply Q1. Their plans are met, and that is the market clearing price. However, the market is in disequilibrium at any other place. Above the price there would be excess supply or a surplus. Below the equilibrium price, at a price such as P2, there would be excess demand or a shortage. And the theory, what we're looking at in terms of the price mechanism, scarce resources will be allocated efficiently by the price mechanism, by the invisible hand of the market, and markets will move towards equilibrium. Okay, and when will it work best? Well, the invisible hand of the market will allocate resources most efficiently if there are many buyers and sellers, so there's competition, where perfect information exists in the marketplace, and where markets are free from government intervention. Highlight key points. Okay, main functions of the price mechanism. Okay, now in terms of this, the allocative and rationing function are normally commented on together. So it looks at allocating scarce resources amongst competing uses, and in terms of rationing, really prices ration resources to those who are prepared to pay more. Okay, so those people prepared to pay the price, that's who goods are rationed towards. In terms of prices, prices also provide a signaling function, and they will adjust, and firms and consumers will adjust their spending plans and their production plans accordingly. In terms of incentives, obviously if you're a consumer, when the price is lower, that provides an incentive to buy something at a cheaper price because you'll get more satisfaction or utility, and firms undoubtedly have greater incentives to produce more at a higher price because there is a profit motive. Okay, let's look at each one in a little bit of depth. In terms of the signaling function, obviously, as I mentioned, this provides information to both firms and consumers that something in the market has changed. Have a little look at the images on the left hand side. So coffee farmers, if there's an increase in price of coffee beans, again they may wish to plant more the following year. Shale gas, something that's quite controversial, but because potentially it's very lucrative, and prices are going to allow significant profit. A number of firms have looked to explore that and be able to exploit gas reserves in each country. If you have a look at the little article on the right hand side, cotton farmers have been hit hard as prices dropped to their lowest since 2009. And basically, the article, and you can have a read of it, but it's all about the plentiful supply of cotton, mainly because of excellent weather, which has meant greater production, and that's driven prices down. And towards the end, the slump in prices has been badly felt by growers in Zambia, whose cotton industry employs a fifth of the population. If they're getting less money for their cotton, obviously that's going to filter through in terms of employment, wages, and so on. Now, in terms of that signalling function, just remember, if prices are rising because of stronger demand, perhaps from consumers, it's a signal to suppliers to expand output if they can. Whether or not they're going to be able to will depend on the price elasticity of supply. So just how easy it is for firms to respond or increase quantity supplied when there's a price rise. A couple of real world examples for you. Most of you won't really have heard of coal in the current climate. Coal seems to be something that belongs to South Wales's past and not its present. And certainly up in Scotland recently, rising oil and gas prices, so oil and gas becoming more expensive, provided a signal that actually perhaps digging coal, taking more coal from the ground may become economic again. Now that certainly happened in Scotland with a couple of pits reopening. Obviously there are some time lags involved. Okay, I will let you have press pause and look at this if you want to. So in terms of this change in British footwear prices, and you can see what's happened over time. Okay, you've got an index, so just think about how much prices have changed over time, and you have some of the reasons on the right hand side. But think about what that means to profit levels and so on from for footwear manufacturers. Okay, the second one, the rationing function. In terms of the rationing function, just have a little look at that example in terms of the diagram on the left hand side. A fall in supply has led to an inward shift in the supply curve, and that's driven prices higher. Okay, now the rationing function is going to occur when there's a shortage. Okay, so when there's a fall in supply, initially demand stays the same and supply drops. So before we get to the new equilibrium, there will be a shortage. Okay, see if I can just highlight this for you. Okay, so initially that's where demand and supply are, but when supply falls, okay, look at the gap. Okay, and as a result of that gap, there is excess demand, and that's going to drive prices higher. Okay, so in terms of this, food prices have risen in recent years. Okay, and with declining incomes, who's going to get the goods? Well, it's going to be those who are prepared to pay more. So I got a pen, I want to highlight it, and I think that's right now. So in terms of the rising cost of renting, again, who's going to get the better houses and flats? Well, it's going to be the people who are prepared to pay more. Okay, who wins the eBay online auctions? The people prepared to pay more. Okay, so price has a rationing function. Just a couple of other real world examples for you. This is the M6 toll road. I'm not sure if any of you have ever been on it. I haven't, but basically it runs parallel to the M6 motorway, and if you the stretch of motorway from Birmingham upwards north can be very congested, and particularly around Birmingham. Well, if you're prepared to pay, okay, if you're prepared to pay, then you can use this parallel M6 toll road, privately funded, and those people who are prepared to pay more, well, it's a way of rationing scarce road space. Stops your traffic delays and allows you to motor at a good speed. If you're prepared to pay more, that facility is open to you. And those obviously who can't or who lack that facility, they lack the effective demand, are effectively priced out of the market. Third function of price, the incentive function. And as mentioned before, prices can give an incentive to both buyers, to consumers, and also to sellers. Certainly at low prices, we will be encouraged to purchase more. Why? We get more utility, more satisfaction. Higher prices undoubtedly encourage suppliers to supply more, and why? It's the profit motive. Okay, so make sure that you are fully aware of these three functions of price. Put a little exam hint to yourself on the top of page 73. Okay, we are going back to a market equilibrium situation. Okay, and at a price PE, firms want to supply QE, and so do consumers want to demand QE. In terms of the price mechanism, let's just look at this in action. At a low price P1, initially at that low price, quantity demanded is 0C, whereas quantity supplied is 0A. There's excess demand. This is unsustainable. Consumers will bid up the price against each other, and this has a rationing effect amongst those who can afford it. Emphasize the key terms, rationing effect. Now, quantity demanded is going to fall as the price increases, and the increase in prices are going to signal to firms that there's been a change in the market, and the higher price is going to give firms the incentive to increase quantity supplied. And this process is going to continue until quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. And the new equilibrium will be at 0 PE and 0 QE. So you see the price mechanism in action, eliminating excess demand. Now we want to see what happens with excess supply. So initially at OP2, the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded. I'll just change colour pen here, equal to the amount AC. What happens when there's excess supply? Some firms will try and reduce their stocks. To do that, they have to reduce their prices. And other firms will leave, no longer got an incentive to produce. And that reduces quantity supplied as well. So by reducing prices, the signalling function of price leads consumers to change their plans and gives them an incentive to increase how much they demand. And so this process is going to continue. Firms are going to continue to drop their prices. The fall in price is going to act as a signal to consumers who've got an incentive to purchase more, and we move ever closer along the supply curve and demand curve towards the equilibrium, and the process will continue up until that point. Just pushing on now. In your notes, you have to write the following, or you must go through the following. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this on a part 2 video.